Brother, let me tell you something that most men never understand until it's too late. Attraction isn't built in the moment she laughs at your joke or when she blushes because you complimented her. Attraction is built in the invisible moments, the ones she doesn't even realize her mind is recording. It's built in the quiet pauses between conversations, in the way her body relaxes when she senses you're calm, in the way her mind goes still for a second when you speak with certainty. These are the moments that sink under her skin. See, people think women remember the big gestures, the gifts, the dinners, the compliments, but what actually shapes her memory of you is the emotional echo you leave behind, that subtle shift inside her that whispers to her body, "He changed something in me." And here's the truth hardly anyone talks about. Once a woman feels an emotional shift because of you, once you become the man who altered how she feels about herself, she will never forget you. Not even if you walk away, not even if she walks away, because you left something deeper than a memory. You left an imprint, and today I'm gonna break down the hidden ways men create that imprint without even realizing it, and the ways they destroy it without knowing. Let's go deeper. First thing, you become unforgettable when you change how she feels about herself, not how she feels about you. Women don't fall for men. They fall for the version of themselves they feel when they're around that man. If she feels more feminine around you, if she feels more desired, if she feels more seen, if she feels more alive, her subconscious attaches those feelings to your presence. And here's the twist. The emotional imprint doesn't come from what you do for her. It comes from what you awaken in her. Maybe you're the first man who ever made her feel truly heard. Maybe you're the first man who didn't judge her when she shared something raw. Maybe you're the first man whose presence felt safe instead of overwhelming. That shift becomes part of her internal world. Even if months pass, even if she meets someone else, that feeling you awaken sits inside her like an emotional fingerprint. Her body remembers long after her mind tries to move on. This is why some men disappear and she forgets them instantly, but others leave a silence she can't shake. You become unforgettable, not by being perfect, but by becoming the mirror that reflects her deepest self back to her. Second thing, imprinting happens when she feels emotionally interrupted. There's a moment in every connection where a woman realizes, wait, I haven't felt this before. That moment is the emotional interruption. It's when you disrupt her patterns. Maybe she's used to men who chase, but you don't. Maybe she's used to men who rush, but you move slowly. Maybe she's used to men who want something from her, but you don't need anything from her at all. That interruption shocks her nervous system. It creates a new emotional pathway, one that leads to you. And here's the crazy part. The stronger the interruption, the longer the imprint lasts. If she's used to chaos and you bring calm, if she's used to attention and you bring depth, if she's used to control and you bring mystery, her emotional system locks onto you as a reference point. You become the exception in a world of predictable men, and women never forget the exception. Third thing, your silence often imprints deeper than your presence. I know this sounds strange, but hear me out. Sometimes the deepest emotional impact you make on a woman happens after you're no longer there, when a man stops giving his energy freely, when he no longer tries to prove himself, when he pulls back into his own life. A woman is forced to feel what your absence is worth, and that's when the imprint hits her hardest, because silence isn't just the absence of words, it creates contrast, a before and after. Before, she took your presence for granted. After, she notices the gap you left behind. Her mind replays moments she ignored. Her body recalls the calm she felt with you. Her heart compares every other man to how she felt around you. Your silence becomes a mirror, reflecting the impact you had, even if she didn't see it at the time. Most men fear silence, but masculine silence is a pressure test. If she feels nothing, she was never connected. If she feels everything, the imprint already existed. Fourth thing, you imprint her when you make her feel emotionally held, not controlled. Women don't attach to men who dominate them. They attach to men who hold space for them. When she talks and you don't rush to fix anything. When she shares and you don't judge. When she gets emotional and you don't get reactive. She feels something rare, emotional stability. In a world full of chaotic men who respond with ego, you become the one man whose presence feels like gravity. And women get addicted to that feeling. She may not understand it logically, she may even resist it, but her body recognizes you as a place of emotional grounding. That's imprinting, not fireworks, not drama, but subtle stability she can't recreate with anyone else, because any man can give her attention, but very few can regulate her emotions simply by being present. Fifth thing, your authenticity creates a deeper imprint than any tactic. Let me say this clearly, women don't attach to the mask you show them, they attach to the raw, unpolished parts of you that feel real. When you talk about something you lost, when you share something you learned the hard way, when you show a scar instead of pretending you're flawless, she feels the truth in your humanity, and truth imprints deeper than charm, because charm she forgets. Charm is surface, charm is temporary, but the moment she sees the man behind the armor, the man who's lived, failed, built himself back up, she feels something she doesn't feel often. He's real, and that reality becomes the emotional imprint. Most men try to impress her, but the man who is authentic becomes unforgettable because he reveals something she doesn't see often, a masculine soul. Sixth thing, imprinting happens in contrast, not constancy. Women don't imprint on men who make them feel the same emotion repeatedly. Consistency is respectable, but contrast is memorable. When you are calm but playful, deep but light-hearted, focused but mysterious, supporting but not suffocating, you create an emotional rhythm she can feel, not predict, and the female brain remembers emotional waves, not emotional flatlines. This is why you must give her different flavors of your masculinity, not to manipulate, but to show her depth, because depth is what her memory attaches to. If you make her feel only comfort, she forgets you. If you make her feel only excitement, she burns out. But when you make her feel both, you become the emotional spectrum she compares every other man to, and that comparison is the imprint. Seventh thing, a woman never forgets the man she couldn't fully read. Let me tell you a secret. Mystery isn't about hiding. Mystery is about being a man whose world she can sense, but not fully grasp. The man who has his own goals, his own vision, his own silence, his own inner world. A woman doesn't imprint on a man who makes her his entire life. She imprints on the man who remains a little bit out of reach, not because he's playing games, but because he's genuinely building something beyond her, something she admires, something she respects, something she wants to be part of, but knows she must earn. That subtle distance creates desire, and desire creates imprint. She remembers the men who wanted her, but she never forgets the man she wanted back. So here's the truth, my friend. You don't imprint a woman by trying harder. You don't imprint her by proving your worth. You imprint her by becoming a man whose presence creates internal change. A man who alters how she sees herself. A man who leaves an emotional echo she can still hear long after you're gone. Looks fade, words fade, situations fade. But the emotional shift you create inside her, that's permanent. If you watch this till the end, I want you to comment echo, because that's what you become when you master this level of emotional depth. An echo in her mind, one she can never erase.